Alright, hello everybody. Let me exit out of this. If anybody is watching right now, can somebody tell me if the audio is okay? Audio and video, I guess. But I don't know if anybody's watching right now, so I guess I'll just have to wait until the first viewer comes. For today's live stream, I'm going to... Oh, okay, I can see and hear you. Oh, we do have somebody. Thank you. Thank you for confirming. And is the... Let's see. Is the audio between, like, the game and my voice okay? Is it balanced alright? Or is one, like, too loud or too quiet? It seems okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for confirming. This is my first time trying it with a webcam, and I think the audio is being picked up through my webcam instead of my standalone mic, so then just wanted to confirm that. Alright, great. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be running a cycle through floor 12, and maybe doing 1 or 2 clears, and then I'm going to be reserving the second half of the stream for any questions that people have, and hopefully I'll be able to answer them. So let's get started. Alright, what do we have? As usual, I'm going to cater my runs for Chamber 3 first, so I'm going to target my team comps around trying to beat these guys. Try to pick up as many stars as I can through Chambers 1 and 2 as I do that, but my focus is going to be initially on Chamber 3 so that I can pick up the 3-star clear there first, and then I'm going to work my way backwards with Chamber 2 and then Chamber 1. So, that having been said, we know that the first half has very high animo and cryo res, so we're going to probably avoid freeze teams or cryo focus teams, and then, or freeze teams and animo focus teams, I guess, like Shao, Wanderer, those kind of guys. And then on the second half, we first of all need somebody who can break that shield, so the melee characters are good, and then it's just single target damage in general is going to be good here. I'm actually going to turn my... Is my mic audio not too loud? Because on OBS it's showing that it's in the red, but I don't know if that's how it sounds on the other end. And I am planning on rolling on Furina's banner, or Furina's rerun, I guess, so it's not too loud. Okay, perfect. Thank you guys. So on the first half, let's actually, I'm going to start with the second half. I think I'm going to go for a Hu Tao team here because Zhongli fits really nicely into here since he can break that Geo Shield really quickly, and then Hu Tao naturally has very high single target damage, so that should give us the smoothest clear there. And then on the first half, I'm probably going to go for some kind of national team. I'm debating between national or Hyper Bloom. Both are good, I think. So let's go, let's see, should we go double Geo Hu Tao or double Hydro Hu Tao? I think I'm gonna go, well, I don't even have like a second Geo character even if I wanted to, so I probably don't have much of a choice here. But I don't know if I want to go double Hydro because Hydro is quite good on the first half as well, so I might reserve 1 Hydro at least for the first half and then go with some kind of single target. Go with like probably Yelan on the second half so that Hu Tao still has a source of Hydro application, and then maybe, let's see here, I think I want more healing on the first half, so let's healing or sustain, I guess, in general. So I'm thinking Kokomi, or let's think, I feel like Sucrose could be good too, but that's not going to give me a lot of survivability. Let's just go Kokomi. I think Kokomi is a safe bet. I use Mona and Xingqiu for Hu Tao. Hu Tao, Yelan, Fischl. Fischl sounds like a good idea on the second half. Let's give that a shot. I like that. Yeah, the Overvape sounds like a good combo. Go Fischl and then Hu Tao. Yeah, and the overloads are also going to allow us to break that Geo Shield a little bit faster, although Zhongli doesn't really need help with that, but it's a nice plus. Alright, let's give it a shot. That's a good suggestion. And yeah, this is your reminder to redo the Spiral Abyss since it did reset today if you're in North America. And for these guys, we're just gonna, oh my god, they actually hit so hard. Yeah, and Hyper Bloom is actually not great against these guys because they have very high Dendro res, but just the sheer amount of damage that we output here through Nahida and her Deepwood, reducing their Dendro res, and then also the extra Hydro damage that we have through Xingqiu ends up being enough damage. So it's not an ideal comp for this half, but it still works out. Okay, and I got marked, so okay, but we're okay. We healed out of it. For those that don't know, if you get marked by these Fatui operatives, they apply Bond of Life, which means you can't heal, and then they also apply Corrosion, which means that your health ticks down periodically. So it's a really nasty combo. So you have to clear the Bond of Life first by healing, so that you can heal, and then after the Bond of Life is cleared, then you can heal through the Corrosion. So then it's a really nasty combo if you don't have a good source of healing. So you just have to make sure that you have a strong healer on this half if you are getting marked by these guys and can't dodge it. And these guys are quite tanky. I think they have like 2 million HP or something each. So they are non-trivial to defeat, I would say. How is the stream latency and like frame rate, by the way? Because this is my first time streaming with my video on, and I don't know how that affects the stream latency. Hopefully not too bad. Looks good. Okay, that's awesome. Actually, this is kind of funny, but part of the reason I stopped playing Genshin and stopped making videos for a while is because my CPU cooler actually stopped working, and I didn't realize it. So for a while I thought there was like something wrong with my graphics card, or I don't know, that my like Wi-Fi was like really bad or something. Because Genshin would run like really slow, and my computer would just like freeze up when I tried to like record videos towards like the beginning of like early last year, and like yeah, my computer would just come to a halt when I would like try to run Genshin, and then it would get even worse when I would run the recording software. And it turned out that my CPU cooler had failed, so then my CPU was just like hitting like 90 degrees, like almost boiling temperature, like 90 degrees Celsius, and then the computer would just like shut down or crash because it was getting too hot. I had to protect the CPU. So then for Christmas this year, so the latest Christmas that we just had, a good friend of mine actually bought me a new CPU cooler, and I installed it in February, which is, you know, when I came back to Genshin. And everything runs much more smoothly now. It turns out when your CPU is not running at 90 degrees Celsius, your computer actually works. So yeah, and it sounds like the stream quality is a lot better now too, because I don't know if a lot of you guys were around, but around like early 2023, like February, March, like just roughly about a year ago from now in 2023, my streams were running at like 1 FPS. Like it was literally like watching a slideshow, and I thought it was like because of my Wi-Fi. I thought it was because of like, I don't know, my like graphics card or something, but no, it turned out it was just my CPU getting overheated. So once I fixed that, it seems like a lot of my problems went away. So really grateful to have a new CPU cooler. Yeah, really happy about that. Yeah, it was something special. That's that's one way to put it. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, I gotta get behind this guy. And I'm not paying too much attention to this chamber here, because this is like the prep chamber going into chamber 3. So if I can pick up stars here, then that's great. That's a bonus. But I'm not too focused on that. I'm more focused about keeping my HP high and also keeping my energy topped up so that when I go into the third chamber, my characters are all ready to go. I can start my rotation immediately without having to recharge energy. So that's mostly what I'm focusing on here. Just making sure I don't die and making sure my energy is topped up. Oh, I don't know if Xingqiu's energy is topped up as I said that. I think it is though. I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be okay. As soon as you talk about the slideshow, stream FPS drops to 5 FPS. Oh no. Let me know if the stream quality drops too much, and I might turn off the webcam video, because that might be affecting it. It could also be because of Nahida. I know whenever Nahida takes the field, like, stream quality starts to become compromised a lot of times, so maybe it's just the Nahida thing, but we'll see. Am I rolling New Violette? I don't know. I'm actually debating it really hard because I do want him, but then I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to get Furina, and I'm definitely prioritizing Furina over New Violette. So I don't know. I'm really on the fence about it. I might post a poll about it based on like how many primos I have, and then. Because I don't have 50-50 either. I like just got Xianyun. She's the last one that I pulled, and I do have a lot of primos saved up, but I don't have like any pity. I'm not like on a 50-50 guarantee. So if I go for New Violette, it would basically be like starting from like 0. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Oh my god, I can't believe I died there. I think my Zhongli shield. I didn't refresh my Zhongli shield. Shoot. Yeah. So, like I was saying, yeah, maybe I got a little too carried away with talking about New Violette, but yeah, I'm gonna be. I do want him, but I'm gonna have to evaluate pretty carefully, like what my Primo Gem status is going to be like when New Violette comes around, and we don't have confirmation on when Furina is going to be rolled either, right? Or when Furina is going to rerun either, right? I'm assuming it's like sometime in 4.6, but there's nothing official, I think, right? So I lasted 4 whole seconds without the shield. Yeah, right. Yeah, like what's dodging, right? We don't know yet, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I don't know. It'll probably be 4.7. Oh, really? Not 4.6? Oh, and then the other thing is I really want Arlecchino. So, I'd pretty much be rolling for all 3, like, 5 stars back-to-back. Arlecchino, Furina, and New Violette, and I don't know if I have enough Primo Gems for it. It's very idyllic. It's a very idyllic vision, so I don't know. Did you see Arlecchino drip marketing? Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can't miss it. It's all over. It's all over like the Genshin subreddits and the Discord channels, and yeah, she is all over the place right now. She looks sick. She looks amazing. So I actually don't know like how strong she's gonna be, because I know she's like they're tuning her like a lot through the beta testing. So I think the final numbers will vary a lot, and it's not very clear like what she's gonna turn out to be in terms of like power. But just the animations look incredible. So that's like reason enough for me to pull her. Do I think she's gonna be broken? It's hard to say. At first, it seemed like she wasn't like too hot because first of all, she's like mostly single target from what I could tell, right? She has AoE built into her kit, but it looked like her AoE damage was not, or her AoE was not like very big, or like very easy to like connect. So then I think that's gonna be a factor. I mean, they might change that up, make her more AoE friendly. But yeah, I mean, right now it's hard to say. And then the other thing is she's gonna be a pyro carry, which means that she's gonna she's gonna contest for like Xingqiu Yelan, like, you know, the typical kind of pyro carry requirement. So I think that's another issue that might, I mean, she might, even if she is strong, I mean, like, she might not be as desirable just from a meta standpoint, just because there's so many pyro carries that really want that. I really want those Hydra supports. So I don't know, it's hard to say. But I do feel like she is going to be pretty strong though, or like, I do feel like they are going to tune her to the point where she is like strong enough to be desirable, because I think there's already so much hype around her that it would be a pretty big mistake from MiHoYo to kind of like drop the ball and like miss their chance on making like a very underwhelming character with something that already has this much hype on it. So like she like almost like sells herself. So like as long as they don't make her too weak, I think she's gonna sell really well, and I think Hoyo's really gonna try to capitalize on that. And here, if you're wondering like why I'm like taking so long here, it's because I don't want to pop Yelan's burst, because as soon as that burst comes down, like the single target damage is like really high, and I want to make sure I have it up for the beginning of chamber 3. So sorry, this is a little slow here. Probably needs Chevy with Overload. She's better in Overload than Babe Team. Oh, is that true? Are people leaning more towards using her with Overload? They're saying she's competitive with Hu Tao. Oh wow, that's really saying something. So yeah, I guess in terms of single target damage, I could see her being really strong. Yeah, that would be interesting actually, playing her with Overload, because Overload is traditionally not like a single target damage playstyle. But then, at the same time, it's not looking like Arlecchino is going to be super strong for AoE either, so it's kind of at a crossroads. Alright, so for this chamber, there aren't too many mechanics involved. We're mostly just trying to maximize our single target damage. The boss just stands in the center, so not much to worry about there. It's mostly just about surviving their attacks, because they do deal a pretty good amount of damage, and just making sure we don't slip up on our rotations so that we keep the single target damage up. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, and thank you to everybody who's dropping by. If you can't watch, that's totally fine. Really appreciate you sending support regardless. Yeah, Kokomi is going to make this half like so much easier, because she adds so much survivability. Only bad thing about Kokomi and Xingqiu here is that they both self-apply Hydro, so then you get frozen pretty often actually, which is annoying, but it's usually not too bad. Because with a team like Hyperbloom, the damage just kind of deals itself, even if you're not like, even if you're frozen. Cookie's Electro Ring still triggers. Nahida's E-proc still triggers, so then even if you're frozen, it's not the end of the world here. As long as you don't die, obviously. Alright, and then second half, we're gonna start by breaking the Geo shield with Zhongli's hold skill and burst plus like 2 plunging attacks. We can break the shield. So what I'm probably gonna do is like 1 plunging attack, hold skill, burst, and then I'm going to set up my off-field abilities like Yelan's burst and Fischl's bird, and then I'm going to go into Hu Tao, break the shield. So I'm deliberately going to leave a little bit of the shield before I switch onto my characters, so then I maximize the amount of time that I have to deal damage while that shield is down, and then do my full combo with Hu Tao, and then I don't think I have enough time to do a second rotation anyway, so maybe it doesn't actually matter holding that shield till the end, but that's the plan. Oh, actually, that pretty much breaks the whole shield, so maybe that gets us roughly about halfway there. Okay, yeah, so it does. Yeah, I pretty much only have time for one rotation, even if I like hold the. Okay, so hopefully I can finish it in the second rotation. Although I don't have Futao's burst this time, which means my second rotation damage is going to be a little bit lower. Oh no! Okay, its only shield just expired, so that's a little embarrassing. Oh, and I actually just used Only's hold skill, so I don't have it up for a little bit. But, I mean, we have 50 seconds left. So, I think Yolon and Fischl should be able to finish him up for me here. That was really embarrassing. That was a really bad run. Sorry, guys. But, luckily, this team only needs like 2 rotations to clear this boss instead of the full 3, so we are A-okay. Sorry, not exactly the cleanest clear there. Futao dying twice in this run. I use Furina instead of Xingqiu. Yeah, that sounds really good actually. It's only skill burst, 3 plunge can instantly break the shield. Yeah, that sounds about right. A win is a win, that's right, we'll take it. Alright, so now, we actually already got 3 stars on the first chamber, luckily, so the first chamber is usually not too bad, or at least the second half is usually not too bad with somebody like Futao. Very easily takes care of this Jade Plume Terrace Room. First half is usually the harder part for chamber 1, and with a team like Nahida Hyperbloom it's not too bad, but if you don't have that, then the go-to team that I usually go for on this half is something that has Sucrose or Kazuha in it. The rest of the team doesn't really matter too much because Sucrose and Kazuha deal so much fall damage to these operatives because they're very, very light. They have very little poise and they're very light. So then like Sucrose's burst and then Kazuha's skill especially is really strong against these guys. Just spamming Kazuha's skill just kills them with fall damage, regardless of what the rest of your team looks like. So if you're having trouble with the first half with this chamber 1, definitely recommend Sucrose or Kazuha there. But if you don't have Sucrose or Kazuha, then Hyperbloom is usually what I would recommend, because Hyperbloom does like a good. It's a little weird because Hyperbloom is more known for its single target damage, but because of the kind of the tracking mechanism of the missiles, it actually makes it really easy to fight these operatives because they move around a lot. So trying to like pin them down is half of the challenge too. So the fact that the Hyperbloom missiles like home in on them helps a lot, and they do have a little bit of AoE built into them too. So Hyperbloom ends up being kind of my go-to team comp for this half, if you don't have Sucrose or Kazuha there. And then now trying to get that last star on chamber 2. Honestly, Sucrose and Kazuha are good here too, so I might just go with that. I might go for some kind of taser team, or like maybe like a Kazuha aggravate team. Aggravate actually sounds pretty good too. If I can mix like Dendro and Electro damage, and then the grouping from Kazuha, that might actually work. So I'll try something like that. And then on the second half, again, it's just something with high single target damage. I might run Futao again, but I might run something with something different with high single target damage just to show something different. Yeah, Taser does a lot of work on the first half, I agree. So let's go, maybe I will go Taser. Taser's kind of hard though, because it doesn't have a lot of sustain unless you go like Kokomi Taser. Which I could, I guess. Nothing stopping us from going Kokomi Taser. Let me think here. Something like that. Does that have enough damage? I think with Kazuha it might. I think with Kazuha it will have enough damage, so let's give it a shot. And then second half, maybe National. Kaching aggravate, I wish. My Kaching is like it's not built very well, so I'm a little embarrassed to show her. Raiden National second half. That sounds pretty good. Oh yeah, and then that's actually a good point. If not for the last chamber, Freeze is super good. I might actually do Freeze on the first half because I don't need the last chamber anymore. That's actually a really good call out. I might do that. I might do Freeze on the first half and then that frees up Xingqiu for Raiden National. So let's do that actually. That sounds pretty good. So I'll do Raiden National second half and then I'll do a Freeze team on the first half. Tinari spread, that's a good one too, yeah. Clean Mono Pyro. Mono Pyro can still work. The Whopper Flowers do have a lot of Pyro res, but you can kind of brute force through them because they, assuming you have like Animo character to shred their res a little bit, and you can kind of brute force through them because they don't have too much HP. So if you can just kind of brute force through them, and then but then the other problem is the Spectres. There's Pyro Spectres as well. So then if it's like true Mono Pyro, then you also have a problem. All right, let's see what this Freeze team looks like. But yeah, Freeze is like hyper OP here. Yeah, like the enemies like can't do anything against Freeze in this half. Where are the operatives gonna spawn? I actually don't even know which direction I'm facing right now. Did I get them? Okay, I got one of them, I think. I wasn't sure which way to shoot my Ayaka burst. Oh, one problem though is that the cryo operative actually has very high cryo res, so we might have a problem there, but maybe Kazuha can help make up for that. Because like I was saying, Kazuha deals so much fall damage, so then even if we don't kill her with cryo damage, we might still be able to deal enough fall damage to kill her. Yeah, did you see that huge chunk of health that Sophia just took? That was the fall damage from Kazuha's skill. And like, if you're using Kazuha or Sucrose, you'll just like randomly see their health bars like drop like 20% at a time. It's like actually crazy. Yeah, and we're left with the cryo operative who like takes like no cryo damage. So this is actually not a very fast clear. Yeah, there's another 84k there, but it's okay because we already have 3 stars on this half. We're just prepping for the second half. And I'm a little reluctant to use Ayaka's burst here because I don't think I'm going to be able to recharge it, so I'm just going to try to kill her using my other characters. Okay, there we go. And then on the second half, we just have a pretty classic Raiden National. Obviously, very, very high single target damage. Arguably the highest single target damage in the game? I don't actually know. I don't know what's the highest single target damage team in the game now. It might be like either a Hyper Bloom team or maybe like a Yae Miko Aggravate team. I'm not sure. But I think whichever one it is, Raiden National is definitely like very competitive and up there. Actually, I'm kind of in an awkward position here because I need like a third of a rotation to kill this guy, but I don't want to pop bursts because I want to have them ready for the second half. So I think I'm just going to have to do a very slow burn here to keep my bursts up. That's one kind of downside to Raiden National, is that it's a very burst dependent comp. So if you don't like kill the enemy like right on your burst cutoffs, and like you do like, let's say you do like 2 rotations and the enemy has like 10% HP left, you end up in a really awkward situation where like you don't really want to start your bursts. You don't really want to start your burst chains because then like it kind of messes up the whole rotation. But then like your skills individually are not that, like your team is really weak without your bursts. So then that's one kind of drawback of the Raiden National. But we're okay here. What's your rotation for Raiden's burst? I do 3 normal attacks and 1 charge attack, and then I repeat that 3 times, and then I do 1 normal attack and 1 charge attack. So then it's 3 NC, 3 NC, 3 NC, and then 1 NC. Hutao Plunge with Furina is the highest single target DPS. Oh wow, that's pretty interesting. I didn't even think about that, but I can see why that's strong, because that sounds really strong. for these guys, I actually like to start behind the Spectres because this helps me set up for when the Whopper Flowers spawn in. Okay, and then I'm gonna run. I'm gonna try to bait them over here. Oh, that's a little too far from the Kokomi's jellyfish, actually. Yeah, that's okay though. Yeah, I misplaced these Whopper Flowers. I should have baited them closer to Kokomi's jellyfish, but I think we'll still be okay. Yeah, and this is where like Freeze like really shines, like against these Serpent Knights. Like these Serpent Knights are usually like a really big problem against most teams, but against Freeze, like it's like no problem because they just like they can't do anything, and you just kill them while they're frozen. Just absolute insanity. Yeah, Freeze gives you a really consistent clear on this half. Obviously, this Freeze team is a bit of an exception because it's like the strongest Freeze team in the game. But even if it's not this team, Freeze teams in general will do really well in that first half. Do you have Gaming? I do have Gaming, but he's only C3, so he's not like super strong yet. I like him a lot though because I also pulled Xianyun, and yeah, I like the two of them together a lot. But he's not like quite, his artifacts aren't quite built yet. And in fact, he was actually, if you saw my like latest artifact video, you can see his build there. It's not pretty. So his artifacts aren't super good right now, and he's not C6 yet, so he still has some work. I still have some work left to build him up, but yeah, I like him a lot. Hoping to use him more in the future. All right, Raiden National. Let's do this. Oh well, she's already full. I'm debating whether I should even use Raiden's burst here, because yeah, he's gonna phase. Okay, that's what I thought. But now Xiangling is like low energy. This is actually kind of awkward. I think Bennett will get her charged up here. Okay, yeah, that's good. And then I think Xingqiu can finish this guy without Raiden's burst. And then, okay, and then we can use Raiden's burst on the boss. That's good. Okay, sweet. Yeah. So the timings worked out pretty nicely there. So I was able to use like half of my rotation to beat the Sentinel, and then that gave me like the second half of my rotation with Raiden's burst to finish off the boss. And we can just leave now because we already 3-starred Chamber 3 and we're done. We're done now. Because his C6 gives plunge damage bonus, plunge crit damage, I believe. Yeah, his C6, Gaming C6 is like, it like makes or breaks the character out. So it's like a huge damage boost. It's like a 40% damage increase or something. Does Mona, Ayaka, Kazuha, Diona team work? Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, Ayaka is kind of the, Ayaka and Kazuha are kind of the main, they're kind of the key components of that Freeze team. So as long as you have the other two, some kind of consistent Hydra application, some form of sustain, you should be fine. But yeah, as long as you have Ayaka and Kazuha, you should be able to clear that first half with the Freeze team. Alright, and that's the clear. I also kind of want to show the first chamber again with like some kind of Kazuha taser team, just to show like how much. I mean, it can be anything, like I said. Like, it doesn't have to be taser. It can be like Kazuha Burgeon. It can be Kazuha Aggravate. This guy's crazy on the first chamber, first half. Let me think. I think I will try some kind of taser team. So I'll go like something like this, maybe, or maybe like. Hold on. What's the rotation gonna be like? Maybe I'll go like Kokomi. I'll do like Kokomi Official, get the Electrocharge Aura, Swirl, Burst, and then Kokomi Burst, Kazuha E, and then back to Xingqiu E. It's like kind of awkward though. I don't like not starting the rotation with Xingqiu's burst because his burst like lasts so long. Okay, let's just do Xingqiu Official. I think that's usually the better rotation. Yeah. And then second half I guess doesn't really matter. We'll just do we'll do Wanderer. Our placeholder single target damage character who's not very strong unfortunately. How much ER do I have in Shenhe? I have about 200% ER in Shenhe. Let's see. Am I going to pull for Nuvilette? I don't know. I mentioned this earlier in the stream. I'm like debating really hard whether I should pull for Nuvilette because I also want Furina a lot, and I'm not sure if I have enough Primo Gems to pull both. And between the two of them, I'm definitely prioritizing Furina. So, I don't know. We'll see. Wait, where's the Pyro Abyss Mage? Oh my god, he's like all the way over there. What have I done? What is he doing over there? Alright, let's do a hold skill here so that we can pull him in a little closer. I don't even know how he ended up there. Okay, so once we get to the second half, we are going to see why Kazuha has like an S tier character against light enemies. Did you see that health bar? Did you see Maria's health bar there? She lost like 30% of her HP. And like, just like watch their health bars. Like, don't even watch the screen. Just watch their health bars, and they just like randomly like take like 20 to like 30% of their HP at a time. It's like actually crazy. Yeah, there's another one. Oh dang, this one Rusalka is like, she's like dodging my knockups using her like iframes. It's actually pretty pro. Okay, she put up the good fight because she was like dodging my knockups. But you saw how fast the cryo operative died? That was crazy, right? She was taking like, we were taking chunks out of her HP. You can use Jean. Yeah, I actually used Jean too, but I couldn't. It was still like kind of slow because like I had to like hold skill. I had to use her hold skill and like throw them up into the air to get them to take a lot of fall damage. So then I found that like the whole rotation was just like taking too long. Maybe you can use like Sack Sword Jean so that you can like reset her E. But I did try using Jean there too because I was also thinking like the fall damage would be good, but it was like taking way too long. You can spam Jean there, take any damage. Jean is slow. Yeah, it's the fall damage. So Jean would die from bond of life one shots. Alright, let's see if Wanderer can clear this half in time. I believe in you, Wanderer. Even if nobody else believes in you, I believe in you, Wanderer. Wanderer is like my favorite character, by the way. I feel like he's like kind of weak, or at least my Wanderer is kind of weak. But I just love his character design. Okay, and I don't have enough gear on Fukina. This is really bad, actually. This is a disaster. Yeah, we're not gonna make it. We're not gonna make it. Oh my god. Not even Bennett is up. on, Bennett. Get it back up. Alright. Yeah, I really wish my Wanderer were stronger, but what can we do? I spent so much time in his domain too. Like, that's such a rough domain to farm. Alright, yeah, we didn't make it. Sorry, Wanderer. Sorry, buddy. One day we'll have an animo biased, single target animo biased Spiral Abyss cycle, and then Wanderer will really shine. The problem is that a lot of times, whenever there's a animo like biased Spiral Abyss, is usually for AOE damage for like Xiao and like Venti and Kazuha. It's very rare to see a single target favored or single target focused animo favored Spiral Abyss. So then, yeah, Wanderer is just he's in a very, very, very tight niche, I would say. Is my Faruzan C6? Am I F2P? My Faruzan is... Well, okay, so my Faruzan is actually C5, I think. But I actually have her C6. So I've been kind of waiting to pull the trigger because I don't want to... I really dislike that constellations are like not undoable. Because once I pull the trigger on the C6, like, you know, I'm gonna have this huge like crit buff forever. So I wanted to use her for a while without her C6 first, just to see like how viable like the Furina Wanderer, or sorry, not Furina, Faruzan, Faruzan Wanderer combo is at C5. And then once I feel like I kind of have like a good idea of their damage output, then I'll probably pull the trigger on the C6. Am I F2P? Yes, I am. So I'm pretty conservative about which 5-star banners I pull on, and I have to be pretty careful about which characters I pull, and I pretty much never pull the weapon banner. It's Faru's over. At least he didn't get the Yoimiya treatment. Yeah, that's true, huh? I don't know. I feel like Yoimiya and Wanderer are actually pretty similar in terms of power level, if not, like, if anything, I think Yoimiya is stronger, isn't she? But I guess she does require Xingqiu, which is like a huge requirement, so, yeah. But anyway, this is how many primos I've saved up. So I have 26,000 primos, which is about like 160 pulls, so I can go to soft pity twice. And then I also have 30 fates, and then 375 saved up in the bank, so that's like another 75 wishes. So I can actually go to soft pity like 3 times starting from 0. So then if I win one of their 50-50s, I can get both Nuvilette and Furina. But then if I lose both 50-50s and I go to soft pity both times, then I'm not going to get one of them. Does C6 decrease energy requirement? No, it doesn't. As far as I know, it doesn't. It just gives Furina like a huge like damage boost, or her buff becomes like a huge damage boost, if I understand correctly. And then yeah, C6 Bennett dilemma, same thing. Yeah, exactly. Wait, hold on. When the active character deals damage while affected by Playful Wind's benefit, they will apply pressurized collapse to the opponent damage. This effect can be triggered once every 3 seconds. Pressurized collapse. Which one is pressurized collapse? Ah, okay, it's the arrow. Does that generate energy every time? Use streamer content creator luck. That's funny. Does anybody know if the extra procs from her C6 generate energy particles every time? It does. Oh, that's actually like crazy good then, because then that means that you're buffing the damage of the animo carry, and you're increasing the uptime of her burst. So that's actually a crazy constellation. That's also like a make or break constellation in my opinion, because like Furina's like energy requirement is like so bad, and like trying to get the energy particles from her skill is actually such a pain, because you have to do like the charge shot, you know, you have to use her skill, fire off the charge shot, catch the particles, use the burst. So yeah, being able to like just generate those, automatically generate those particles from the procs from her C6 sounds like crazy good. How good is Faruzan C6's grouping? I don't think it's excellent, but it's like good enough for like kind of like mildly grouped enemies. Like it's not gonna like pull enemies from like far away, but if the enemies are already like still already kind of close together to start with, it'll kind of help keep them together. Oh my god, yeah, I keep saying Furina. I'm so sorry. I keep mixing up Faruzan and Furina. Oh, sorry. Thanks for calling me out on that. But yeah, I mean Faruzan, but I kept saying Furina. Sorry. And then there was another question up there that I think I missed. If you haven't explored, you're going to be around 40k primos. I've covered all of Fontaine pretty much. I have like I haven't gotten the treasure compass yet, so there's probably like a few chests that I'm missing. But aside from that, I'm probably like 99% done with Fontaine. I haven't done too much of Chen Yu Vale, so I have probably like half of it left to explore. So yeah, there is a pretty good untapped resource of primo gems in this region, and then I guess we're gonna get the new Fontaine region here. So yeah, there is definitely more opportunities to get primo gems for me. So I think I can probably get 2 5 stars in the next couple patches, but then trying to pick up Neuvillette, Furina, and Arlecchino I think might be a little tough. Trying to go for all 3. I would probably have to get a lucky pull on one of those 3 to get all 3 of them, and that's what I'm a little concerned about if I go for Neuvillette. I guess what I can do is like kind of budget myself and like decide like I will only spend up to 50 wishes on Neuvillette, for example. So then that leaves me enough to like double soft pity, like losing 50-50 for Furina and Arlecchino. So then I kind of budget myself, and then if I get him, I get him. If I don't, I don't. Something like that, maybe. Oh, Faruzan's pressurized collapse has the same vacuum field properties as Sucrose E. Oh, that's interesting. That's bigger than I thought then, actually, because Sucrose's E is like pretty good, I feel like. So if Faruzan's E is the same, then that's actually quite good in my opinion. I didn't realize it was that big. That's what being Furina list does to a man. But yeah, my number 1 priority is Furina for sure. I definitely want to finish the Archon collection for one, but also just her kit is just incredible. The damage boost that she provides is just insane. Do stream today while wishing you will definitely get streamer luck. Maybe I will. Yeah, maybe I think in NA, which is where I play, it's in 18 hours, so it's like tomorrow afternoon. Okay, so that's like that's like right before I get off of work actually. So then yeah, by the time I come home from work, Neuvillette will be on this banner, and then maybe I'll stream my pulls, and maybe your guys' channeling luck toward me will help me get an early pull. Do I have Mika? I don't. Has Mika been on more than one banner, or is it? Because yeah, I've like not seen him since I got back. But yeah, I don't have Mika, unfortunately. Praise, yeah, indeed. Somebody said he wants Furina that much, and that's why I keep saying Faruzan, or Furina instead of Faruzan. Yeah, and Chevy, that's another big one. I actually came back like 2 weeks after Chevy's banner ended, and I was like catching up on all the characters that I had missed, and Chevy was one that I really regretted not coming back earlier for, because her kit seems like really unique. I love seeing kind of unique kits like that cater to like a very specific niche and like do really well or are really good at what they do specifically. I feel like that's like awesome. So if Chevy comes back around, I'll probably try to pick up a copy of her. And I think if I understand Chevy's kit correctly, she's still very effective with just one copy, right? Like she's not super constellation dependent from what I can tell. So I like that about her as well. You need pyro and electro in your party, though. Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, obviously she caters specifically to overloaded teams. So, I think it limits the team comps that you can use her in, but I think that's fine. I think that's cool that there's like a character that like specializes in overloaded team comps. What do you think about Arlecchino? I think her art looks amazing. Aside from that, it's hard to tell how strong she is since she's still under a lot of development and they're tuning her a lot. But from what I hear, from what the chat told me, she's supposed to be like about as strong as Hu Tao in terms of single target pyro damage, which sounds really impressive. And I hope she is strong since she is a Fadui Harbinger. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be... I'm going to try to pull for Arlecchino as well, just based on her artwork alone. You don't need constellations for her, but they do help her sustain better. Oh, interesting. Sustain in terms of health or in terms of energy? Like a burst uptime? Will you S1 her? What does S1 mean? Is S1... Oh, do you mean like signature weapon? She used to be Pyro Child, now she's Pyro Hu Tao. I mean BIS. Okay, yeah, I think they're talking about the weapon. I almost never pull on weapon banner because usually like weapon banner is like not. Yeah, as you can see here, I've pulled on weapon banner twice. Once for Hu Tao, once for Raiden. I might. The scythe looks pretty cool. I might. If I have enough primos, then I will probably be tempted. Let's say that. I don't plan to, but I will likely be tempted if I have the primo gems left. If they mess up Arlecchino, people are going to be... Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier. Because I feel like there's so much marketing and hype around her that if she ends up being weak, like that would be a huge miss on Hoyo's part. So I think they are going to make sure... I think they are going to make sure that like she ends up being very strong. That's my guess. 18 hours left. Oh, it's because I'm playing on NA. So if you're on Asia server, I think... Yeah, banner swap is just like almost there, I think. Like, probably like a few more hours. What is that weapon that Amber is using? Good question. What do I have on Amber? Where is Amber even? Oh, Windbloom. Oh, this was from an event. This was from a Mondstadt event in like, I want to say like 2 point something? I don't remember what version it was from. But yeah, it's an event weapon. It's a EM event weapon. White Tassel is... Oh, interesting. White Tassel is one of her best weapons. Our best weapons. Do you think they're reserving Pyro unit power levels because Nathalan is upcoming? Oh, that's an interesting theory. I guess that's possible, yeah. First Mondstadt Festival. Was it from like a 1 point something patch? Is it that old, actually? Maybe it is, actually. Maybe it is that old. Yeah, let me see when the Asia... Let's see here. Phase 2 is supposed to start... Okay, I can't see it. Where is it? Somebody else will probably find it faster than me. Wow, yeah. Windbloom is from version 1.4. That's actually crazy. I didn't realize it was that old. So it's like the second event weapon that was ever released, right? Because Festering Desire was the first one. And then, yeah, Windbloom was the second. I do have Festering Desire as well. Right over here. And if I get Furina, this is probably what I'm going to put on her. Either this one or the I think there's a Fontaine crafted sword, which is also similar on her, so probably one of those two. Asia banner swap in 5 hours. Thank you, Temp. Thank you, reliable Temp. Temp-sama. Whoa, hold on. I just got logged out of my YouTube. Am I still streaming? I can't see chat anymore. They kicked me out of my own chat. What is going on here? Hold on. One sec, sorry. I just like lost my chat. And now it's like trying to... Okay, we're back. We're back. Alright. Okay, it looks like stream was still running, but I just couldn't see the chat. Alright. We're all figments of Gio's imagination. Oh no. Alright. Do I have R2 Dark Iron Sword? I don't have the Iron Sword. I'm a little sad, but I found out about it too late. I must have... I don't know when I like fed it, but I must have fed it at some point, because I don't have it. We need a Bennett that doesn't come with Circle Impact experience. I would be surprised. I would be surprised if they released another character that's even close to Bennett's power level. I actually think Furina is probably the closest that we've seen. I would say like Furina is comparable in terms of what she offers, and like the damage, like the net damage increase that she offers to a team is similar to what Bennett offers. But I would be extremely surprised if they ever release a 4-star character that has the same power level as Bennett. Let alone someone that's not restricted to a circle, like a fixed area ult. I think I would be shocked to see that. Alright, show your Xingqiu build. I'll show you his stats, because then that kind of summarizes everything. I don't run 4-piece emblem on him, so that's worth noting. So his stats are a little inflated because I can run offset, but these are the benchmarks that I'm running for him. Could you tell us the rotation you know and explain why it's like that? It would help if we could know some thought process for the Abyss, maybe some Sucrose National or Hutao, Kazuha, Yelan, Bennett rotation. Hutao, Kazuha, Yelan, Bennett. Oh, I see, okay. Yeah, okay, let's think. For Sucrose National, that one's pretty standard. I think that one, I can actually show it right now. That's a very standard team that everybody should kind of get used to doing, because it's like such a core, like 4-star only team. But for Sucrose National, where the idea is to, so there's a few key ideas. The first one is using Xingqiu's burst first, obviously, because it lasts the longest in pretty much the whole rotation. We're going to hold Xingqiu's skill until the middle of the rotation. You'll see what I mean by that, because we want to vape his skill damage, because if we use it at the very beginning of the rotation, it just deals regular Hydro damage, but if we wait to use it after Xiangling's burst, while the enemy has Pyro applied on them, then we can vaporize his damage as well. So then Xingqiu and Xiangling both work together to deal a lot of Hydro and Pyro damage together. And then the other thing is the rotation order ensures that Sucrose's Thrilling Tales buff goes onto Xiangling always. So then Xiangling always follows after Sucrose. And that's to make sure that the Thrilling Tales buff of Sucrose goes onto Xiangling. And then, what else are we making sure of? Oh, and then one kind of one small but important detail you're going to see me do is, after we open with Xingqiu and Bennett's burst, I'm going to try to reapply Pyro onto the enemy with Bennett before swapping onto Sucrose. And that's to try to get a Pyro swirl on the enemy. So I'm trying to have a pyro aura on the enemy by the time Sucrose comes on the field. So then when I use her animo attacks, it'll swirl pyro, and then that'll give me the pyro res decrease that Xiangling is really going to capitalize on. So a lot of times it doesn't work out because Xingqiu's hydro application is just so good. But what you're going to see me do is basically use Xingqiu's burst, use Bennett's burst, step away, and then use Bennett's skill to reapply pyro and then step away a little bit so that we don't get rid of that pyro aura. So this is what that'll look like. Okay, there we go. We got pyro, we got the pyro swirl. Thrilling Tales goes onto Xiangling. We're going to use Xingqiu's skill here, and we're going to get these big vaporized numbers. And then from here, we're going to go to Bennett, swap to Xiangling so that she catches the pyro particles, and then we're going to auto attack with Sucrose a little bit so that we get more swirls. So again, Bennett burst, Bennett skill, step away, notice the pyro aura. We're going to swirl pyro, and then Xiangling gets Thrilling Tales. We're going to vape with Xingqiu's skill, and then recharge Xiangling's energy. And then finish off the rotation with some of Sucrose's normal attacks. And again, Xingqiu burst, Bennett burst skill, step away, swirl pyro, Thrilling Tales goes onto Xiangling. Oh, I didn't recharge Xiangling's energy all the way. That's not good. Let's make sure we refill Xiangling's energy all the way before we start our next rotation this time. Okay, so burst, skill, step away, pyro aura, swirl pyro, Thrilling Tales goes onto Xiangling, vaporize with Xingqiu, and then recharge Xiangling. Oh, okay, I missed Bennett's skill there, you see that? So they don't have a pyro application. We got lucky there because one of the operatives already had a pyro aura on them, so we still got the pyro swirl. But there I missed Bennett's skill, so then we weren't able to reapply pyro, which means that we normally would not be able to get the pyro swirl there to decrease their pyro res. So getting that pyro swirl is really, really important to maximize your damage. You're losing like 50% of your damage potential if you don't get the pyro swirl. So that's the rotation for the Sucrose national team. That's the traditional national that everybody should be familiar with because it's such a strong 4-star team. It does require a lot of investment because you need like C4 Xiangling, you need at least C2 Xingqiu, probably want C2 Sucrose as well, but a really, really powerful team to get used to. Let's see here. There's a new Iron Sword and oh, I didn't know that. Xingqiu build Nuvilette or Kazuha? That's actually a good question. Okay, I'm answering like a really old question from the chat because I missed a lot of chat, but I'm trying to catch up. Nuvilette versus Kazuha? I feel like I lean towards Kazuha a little bit just because he's a lot more flexible. Or I prescribe to the philosophy that you should focus on characters that open up your team comp options as much as possible because even if a character or a team comp is strong today, we don't know what enemies are going to be in the Spiral Abyss like 1 or 2 patches from now. And having that flexibility to build different types of team comps, in my opinion, is much more future-proof and more valuable in general. So I lean towards Kazuha a little bit, but I don't think you can go wrong with going with Nuvilette because like unless we see a Spiral Abyss cycle that has like both sides immune to Hydro, which shouldn't happen, Nuvilette is always going to be relevant. So most carries are not meta immune to the meta changes, but I feel like Nuvilette is an exception because he's like so strong. So I think I personally lean towards Kazuha, but I wouldn't blame you for going Nuvilette, and I don't think you could go wrong. Let's see here. Kazuha is more valuable, plus supports will generally outlive main carries. Kazuha is, yeah, okay, so I think a lot of chat is kind of saying the same stuff. And yeah, I agree with what most people are saying here. Taser 1/2. National is too expensive. But I need to see one. We have aggravate F2P team. Support is king. Supports outlive main carries. Yeah, I think I kind of agree with everybody's general sentiment, I would say. Thoughts on Fav on Bennett? I am a big fan of it. It does have a lower base attack, so the attack buff is a bit lower. So we're looking at 454 base attack. At level 90, that means he has 640 base attack. So then the attack buff that he gives to the team is about 700 roughly, I think, or 120% of 640. What is that, 120? So about 770. Okay, so he's granting about 770 attack to his team. And if you have something like, let's say like Sapwood, which has higher base attack, still has a ER substat, which is great. That bumps it up to 756, so then we're looking at closer to like a 900 attack buff. So then the difference between Sapwood, for example, and Sapwood and Fav, the difference in the attack buff that you're giving to your team is it's 770 versus 900, which is about 130 attack. And in the long scheme of, like in the larger scheme of things, 130 attack is not, it's not like a make or break amount of attack, in my opinion. That's like 8% of most characters' attack. So 8% is it's a substantial amount, actually. Like it's not a non-trivial amount. But yeah, that 130 attack, if you're trading off uptime of his burst for that, it's definitely not worth it. So if you can maintain 100% uptime, or like close to 100% uptime with Sapwood or a high base attack sword, then like that's fine. You're getting the 8% damage boost for free pretty much. But if you're like missing a rotation, like if you're dropping Bennett's burst on like every other rotation, for example, because you don't have enough particles or you don't have enough energy recharge, then it's 100% not worth it, getting that extra 130 attack. So I'm a huge proponent of pushing Fav on Bennett. And the other thing about Fav is that it grants energy not only to Bennett, but it grants energy to the rest of the team, right? Because when people pick up, he generates those particles, those white particles, and the carry can pick them up, like Xiangling can pick them up. So then it not only helps his uptime, but it also helps lower the energy requirements of other team members, which is huge. So I'm a big fan of putting Fav on Bennett. You lose that 130 attack compared to like Sapwood, for example, but the uptime that you get on both his burst and the carry's burst is 100% worth it, in my opinion. All right, I think I addressed most of the questions. I just missed a call from my wife, so I'm probably going to wrap up the stream here and call her back. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. Hopefully the stream quality is better than the streams that I used to run before I stopped playing. I have my new CPU cooler to thank for that. So yeah, thanks again for tuning in. I'm hoping to do more streams in the future, thanks to my computer actually working now. And I know I haven't released a 12.1 Chamber 1 like video yet, but I am actually working on that. So I've just been busy with work and travel lately, but I am working on the Chamber 1 video, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, I might stream a new Villette pull tomorrow, so we'll see. Fingers crossed for that as well. Good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.